Guys, welcome. Good evening. Thank you for being here. Guess what day it is today? Today is that day where I can say we're sitting to do episode 1 of the Jibrael Hindi show. Episode 1 today, as you may have already heard, is entitled How I Did It. As much as I would love to sit here and just talk about everything I've done and have accomplished it, which is why we're here, I always like to take things a step further. I always like to make things a lot more fluid and a lot more mind being used in terms of showing how I've applied what I'm going to share with you and how I see the future generation actually doing it today. I have a very special guest, Adam. Adam is the genius and the mastermind behind American Income. I met Adam about a month ago, and we're actually sitting here today already doing a podcast, and that's how we move with speed. That's another topic we'll talk about today. Speed is important, guys. Side note. Adam is 24 years old, and the way that he's moving, the way that he's establishing his business, the way that he just literally wakes up and just makes sure that he gets 100% out of every single day is literally the way I was when he was his age. And I know very well where that type of mindset and that type of character can take you. So I said, you know what? There's a lot of young viewers out there that follow me. There's a lot of people that ask me hundreds of questions a week, and a lot of them come from Adam's age range, and I think it's a good example to have on here. Adam, pleasure to have you, brother.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you to be here for the first show.
Thank you so much.
Tell the world about yourself.
Listen, so my name is Adam Ali. I'm the host of American Income. I've been running this page for about 3.5 years now, and throughout my journey, I've been able to interview people from all different walks of life and just inspire others on what's truly possible and out there for them to learn, whether they want to start in the business, start a new career, or switch careers, switch professions. And then my goal is to just help inspire people and get them started whatever they want to do.
You know what's interesting about what you just said? Is it safe to say that you're kind of starting off your career like at this point?
Yeah, I believe so. Even at 24 years old, everyone that I guess finished college in my same age group, they're starting off their own career as well. I just went a different route, but I still feel like I'm starting.
You know, I think a very important quality with any successful person is being able to get out there and teach, to get out there and just give people the best possibility as far as you can to let them reach their potential. And when you just did that little intro and you talked about what you do, you highly emphasized the fact that you want to help people out there. And of course, there's many ways you can help people, but what you're obviously describing in your world is getting them more exposure, allowing them and guiding them to be able to shed light on their attributes. A lot of people, they have these attributes, but they don't understand how to shed light in it. Let me tell you, and you know, when I introduced Adam, I said that I saw something in him. And you know what? This was kind of reconfirmation that I'm right. It took me many, many years, perhaps, I'm 37, perhaps within the last 3 years to understand the power of strengthening people, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, we all know that obviously that end recipient of that is going to receive something, but I did not know how much I receive also, right? When I'm putting people in those positions, where I'm able to share, and this is not a money thing, right? This is a mental thing, this is a thing from the heart. When you're giving those types of valuable assets, your time, the most important thing we have in this life, other than our health, is our time. And we're giving it to them in order to make them better. I don't know about you, Adam, but for me, these days, that's really what drives me. That's really what gives me that energy to be here right now. You know, we both had long days. Literally, Adam just gets in here 10 minutes ago. He's still doing his haircut while he's walking in. You know, his phones are blowing off the hook. He's actually doing another interview with a big guy in about an hour. Sure. He can talk about that a little bit. But do you agree with me that when you're able to position yourself and you know, God has blessed you with certain things in life, and you're able to share that with others and make them better, isn't that really something that just continues to drive you?
Yeah. I think God has blessed many of us in ways we don't even appreciate every single day. Me and you, aside from our success, we still have 2 legs, 2 arms. We can breathe. We have no heart problems. We have good lives. We live in America. We have roofs overhead. A lot of stuff, a lot of things in the U.S. people take for granted because it's actually one of the best countries to grow up in. So 100%. I think just in general, just aside from everything, we live such a great life here in the U.S. that I feel like people just don't take advantage of what they have presented to them. Now, if I go to like the poorest part of India, you look at the way of quality life they have over there, you look at your life here, you would then be grateful for the life you have here. So every day I try to wake up and make sure I get as much done as possible, but also don't waste what God has given me and has been able to bless me with, but also make sure to take advantage of every opportunity that's been presented to me because an opportunity that's here today will not be here tomorrow. Soon, the day I die, you die, the opportunities that we were presented that we didn't take action on, they will long be gone and forgotten about.
Yeah, life is so short. And if we're among those individuals that God has blessed with these opportunities and we don't take advantage of them, shame on you. And I think that's also, a lot of people say, how do you manage such a full plate? How do you keep on going? And it comes down, and I think for me at least, what I can summarize your whole response there is gratitude. Having gratitude, being aware of gratitude, utilizing it in your life will give you that fulfillment. It doesn't matter, and you just got a brand new McLaren, right?
Yes, sir.
And I've had many supercars or exotic cars, and I probably got mine when the first one was about your age. But what I remember was like maybe after a week, it was like whatever. I don't know if you had it for a week yet or not. Yeah. But can you kind of see where that it's kind of dwindling down? And it will dwindle down because that's how materialistic things work in the world.
I always say, just as fat as God gives, He can also take.
Oh yes.
Just as quick.
Absolutely.
Just as fat as God gives, He can take it quicker. So it's just a car. I've had it for about a week. The car costs $500,000.
Yep.
It costs more than the house I grew up in. But at the end of the day, it's just the car. It doesn't make me a better person than anyone else around me. I'm still human. That is a materialistic object. Cool. It's cool to look at, drive, whatever. But you still have to have gratitude and pray to God every single day and be thankful.
Yes.
Because these things can be gone quicker than you were able to get them.
100%.
And they're not truly what matters. What matters is being a good person, being kind to others, doing what you're supposed to do, not doing bad, not doing wrong, not scamming,
Correct.
no drug. Like there's just a lot of things you have to do that are just completely separate from just having a nice car, watch, house. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, I think.
I agree with you. And I always talk to people, every single day, who I am right now is through through intentional acts and that I demand upon myself to continuously improve my character. And character is a major thing. And I don't want to get into religion, but I think faith has to do a lot of what we're talking about right now.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what religion you are. These basic pillars, these basic fundamental elements that we're discussing are prevalent and common in all faiths. But let me say one more thing. Because I think we were also talking about what drives us.
Yep.
And I think that's in line with how I did it. And what you were saying was just you're looking at the person behind you and saying, that person doesn't, maybe they don't have a limb, maybe they don't have a mental capacity you do, and you're not going to allow yourself to not take advantage of opportunities because, again, shame on you when somebody else wishes they had the opportunity. I feel the exact same way. And I think for me, it's, my drive primarily comes from my upbringing. I grew up on food stamps, Section 8 public housing, a son of first child of two immigrants. My father had a 5th grade education. My mom had a high school education, and it was really a struggle. And I know that even till today, that hunger that I have to keep going, even though I could literally just stop right now, but to keep going is because subconsciously, I just want to be so far away from that where I was when I was growing up in that financial situation. And, I've actually talked about this on video before. I think that the kid that didn't grow up with a silver spoon in his mouth actually has an advantage over the kid that does, that did grow up with money. Which, by the way, if you grew up with money, there's nothing wrong with that. If your parents worked hard, congratulations to them. I want my child to have, a better head start than I did. But I think we both know, and you speak to a lot of entrepreneurs, both just getting started, but even more, very successful. And correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people did have a humble upbringing, and I think, or a lot of those successful people did have a humble upbringing. And I think, again, it's because at least subconsciously, perhaps consciously, but at least subconsciously, it's because they want to be as far away from adversity, financial adversity, as possible.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem is, or the biggest issue is not wanting to go back to your previous situation. A lot of people have a lot of childhood traumas, like you for example grew up however you grew up. I grew up with a single mom, but I never like to use that or blame the ways I am or the way I act because I think that's inexcusable.
We're not victims. We don't have victim mentality. Yeah.
That should be part of your story, and you should be grateful for it.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful that I didn't grow up without a father. It is what it is, but I understand that could have things been different? Yes, but I will never know, so I can never dwell on the past. All I have to do is take control of what I have in front of me and just keep moving forward. So it's just a place of pain and just the past of how you grew up. How do you use that to keep moving forward? But there are people that I see are still stuck in that behind, it's because I have this. It's because we didn't have money. It's because of this. Like for me, I didn't even have enough money for like a college degree. I was in debt. They didn't want to accept me, but I still tried to go. And it's like, damn, even if I wanted to go to college, we don't qualify. I don't have no scholarships. Credit's bad.
Yeah.
It's almost against you.
Yeah, I think guys like us, 100%. Do we have things that we can literally just sit here and dwell and reminisce on the past and literally allow that to absorb our time, absorb our emotion, absorb our strength, and not move forward? And for me at least, I come across those types of individuals regularly. And of course, I'm not going to be rude or disrespectful, but it dwells upon me so often. Like, why are they looking at the past? Why are they allowing that to stop them from taking that first step in whatever dreams they have? As a matter of fact, to a certain degree, it even avoids them from even making dreams. Listen, guys, I want to talk to everybody out there because what I just said probably applies to 20, 30% of people out there. And I know how you can get stuck in that situation. There's only one way out of that situation, and it's literally building up that strength in your mind. It's all in your mind. And understanding that yesterday is yesterday. Even if it's good stuff that happened yesterday, my success and whatever I've attained up till this moment now doesn't matter. I'm literally starting every single day like a fresh day. If I can do that at this point, okay, so can you. Just strengthen it, put it in your mind, and take that first step. That first step is the most powerful step. And taking that first step and actually accomplishing it is going to start building momentum. That's what you want, that momentum. And you say, you know what, I took that first step. It wasn't that bad. I've already shifted my mindset. Now I'm focusing on positivity. It really can be that simple. Does it require strength? Yes, but guess what? That's why the guys at the top are champions, because they had the strength. It's not a physical strength, it's a mental strength. You agree, Adam?
Yeah, absolutely. But I always have a saying, your current situation is not your final destination. So just understand the situation you are now is not going to be a forever thing. It's just you have to go through it and stick through it.
Yeah.
And even for me, at my lowest points that I had was, from the age of 18 to 20 years old, I worked 70 to 80 hours a week at an Amazon warehouse loading boxes on a truck.
That'll do it
from
for you.
7 p.m. to 7 a.m., a graveyard shift. So I'm okay with working, and I understand what that side's like. But, man, that does teach you a lot of character and truly tells you, hey, listen, you got to do better for yourself. You got to get out of here.
I agree. And, again, I brought you on here because I want you to be relatable to a lot of my demographics, which is that, 18 to 29 age range. You just touched on something big also. You want to improve on your character. And how do you improve on your character? It's really getting out there and experiencing the world. And that could be literally through the jobs that you carry. I worked in a meat market as a butcher when I was 16. I worked in Walgreens as a photo tech developer when I was 17. And then I started my own little businesses, but I even worked in gas stations for 4 years overnight in Hialeah. And actually, we were talking about this the other night when we had dinner. I don't think I'm the best lawyer out there, not even close. But even though all lawyers have the same law license that I have, I think that one of the biggest edges that I have, and it goes back to what you're saying with the Amazon, working with Amazon, the trucks, and all that, is the fact that, working that gas station overnight, I dealt with that overnight crowd, with the pimp, and it was in the hood,
Yeah.
The pimps, the hoes, the tricksters, the scammers, this and that. And then you have probably around 4, 5, 6 in the morning, the 9-to-5ers, better crowd. But I know how to communicate with people. I know how to be able to show individuals from, doesn't matter, the most diverse upbringings, the most diverse realities they live in, and I'm able to deal with them. And in my business, at least, as a matter of fact, in all my businesses, that's really my edge, is my ability to communicate. And Adam, you actually have that same element to you, and that's what draws me to. It's not about the talent that you're able to have on your show. It's not about, the fact that you're grinding your ass off. You have almost 1,000 videos you've done, almost 1 million followers, but it's that you are the only, I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the major things is you know how to communicate with a very drastic, diverse group of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I have a special ability to know how to communicate with some people and know that the way you communicate with one person does not apply to everyone. Right. So certain people, you have to say certain things to, certain gestures to. You have to know kind of what they like, what they don't like. But other than that, communication is key, but also the speed that you communicate, which is even better. And a lot of people, they have this problem nowadays where they communicate very slow.
Yeah.
Whenever you're trying to talk to a successful person or someone that does well for themselves, they do not like slow communication. And as soon as they get any taste of that, they will run away from you because they understand, that shows a lot about you,
You're
a lot
right.
about your character right away.
You're right.
Even if you're late somewhere, if even if I'm late somewhere, God forbid, I'm gonna let you know, hey, and that while I'm late, I'm driving, I'm gonna let you know, hey, I'm late, just so you know now, so I don't come there late and you say, man, why were you late?
Yes.
I told you before. So
You know what? I think that's a good transition to talk about, let's say, another example of how I got here. I've always, and this is what you were just touching on, something in me, thank God, has always given me the desire and, of course, the ability to move with a sense of urgency, to move with speed. Like, I don't take an opportunity and just let it sit there and, literally just let it sit there. My team knows this. If I see an opportunity that's worth hopping I'm on that immediately. You know what I mean? And I know for a fact that that is also a very big difference on someone that becomes highly successful, highly valuable, is their perception of how much effort they have to put into making sure that they're acting with speed.
absolutely.
You do the same thing. You've been in like 3 cities in the last like week, right?
Yeah. I probably
Yeah.
take about 60 to 80 flights a year. I'll go to a city, like leave here in the morning and get back here at night, sleep here at night. Like that's how quick I am. If I have to go to Chicago, I'll be there in the morning. I'll be back here at night. Just the ability to be quick and do things fast. Like even now, it was 6:40. It took 10 minutes for me to get here. I had a barber waiting for me to give me a haircut, and then now we're on the show at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Obviously, I could have done things a little better, but I was on 2 calls. There's things I was doing that way I had to get here. But yeah, just overall, anyone young that's watching this or even further in their career, you have to do things quick, but you have to do them selectively
Quality.
in the right way. Anyone could send a text message fast. Anyone could send an email quick, but how you send it and in the manner that you do really matters.
That's a man. You see, I knew I had the right guy here. You're a very smart guy, man. What he just explained was, yes, you have to act swiftly. You have to have that sense of urgency, but you also have to be strategic. Okay, we are very limited in our resource of time. We have to make sure, and guys, this is also how I got here. Is part of where I am today? Owning America's largest consumer protection law firm. IFBB Pro. Extremely successful large holding of commercial real estate, aviation company that we just launched, probably worth close to $50 million. We just launched it 8 months ago. Again, it's the urgency, but also being selective in where we're putting that time. That is being strategic. As a matter of fact, Adam, and you know what? I'm not even going to try to teach you something anymore because it seems like you know everything. I'm just kidding. But you know what? Let me tell you this thing, though. And of course, when I was your age, I perhaps had a concept of this, but now it's really solidified. A lot of times you can make money by not taking on certain opportunities. In other words, saving what would probably not have been much of anything, saving a couple of years of your life, saving the stress, the agony of partnering with people, if you don't actually take the right effort and right time to analyze. A lot of people get money, they want to burn, it's like it's burning a hole in their pocket, they just want to go invest it. I see people come up to me every day, hey, I just got this, I don't know, $20,000, how should I invest it? Maybe you don't really need to invest it right now. You know what I mean? Because don't forget, you lose that thing, now you got to make $40,000 to get back to where you were right now. You know. So, do you make a conscious decision these days as to how you're allocating your time?
Yes, absolutely. I think.
What does that look like? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think everyone's time is valuable. So I'm not just gonna sit here and say my time's valuable more than yours. No. Your time is just as valuable as my time. What you do on a daily basis matters. If you can go to sleep by 10 o'clock, wake up by 5, you already started your day ahead. You can go to the gym early, get what you have to do done, go to work, be home on time, cook at your house, do laundry house. There's just like little things that if you have an efficient lifestyle day-to-day basis, your time is more valuable and you have more time to yourself to do things that matter most. Spend time with your family, girlfriend, go here, go there. It just kind of all depends how you want to spend your time. Now, whenever there's other people in your life, friends that you want to hang out with, things you want to do, okay, cool. What does hanging out with you benefit me? What am I gonna gain from that? Right now, it's not wrong to hang out with friends, but it's the best way to do is allocate certain time periods for them. So Monday through Friday, I probably won't hang out with any friends, but maybe on a Saturday night, hey, we'll go to a restaurant and have dinner. But at least we're talking about something, doing something. I have to eat anyway, so I'm gonna go to the restaurant and eat dinner. Now, if I go bowling for a few hours or I just go on the block for half the day, it's like, yo, you just wasted a whole day. Like, I didn't learn nothing on the block.
You're clearly very conscious of how you're allocating your time.
Yeah, and I think our time is very limited here. So the things that you do, you need to truly calculate how much time you're wasting on just anything. And someone that's very good on this is Hormozy. Hermosi just dropped a video about, I don't know, a month ago, but he said, listen, I'm going to give you 5 things in your life that you can literally increase the time that you save. And those things is laundry, cleaning up your house,
I
driving,
saw that video actually.
ordering,
Yeah.
ordering Uber and DoorDash, and just scheduling your day.
Absolutely.
There's literally those 5 caterpillars that you can save so much time in a week to just work on something else. But even something like cleaning my house, like that takes hours. Doing your laundry, cooking, all that.
Yeah, I mean, you know the value of your time, and you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself to capitalize on the true value. You're not undercutting yourself. You know, it seems like right now what we're talking about also is a lot about people. And you know, I always say, for me, my success and everything that I've done, literally everything, is because I've been blessed to have good people around me.
Yes, sir.
It's one thing, you know, in my law firm, for instance, I have 2 partners now. I got my first partner about 4 years ago. Before that, it was really just me. I had other lawyers working for me, but I didn't have partners. And I didn't think that I would ever bring a partner in because of the stubborn thought in my mind that nobody can do this as good as me. Okay, and of course that's not true. Okay, and once I opened myself up to the idea and I brought that lawyer in. Of course, he wasn't a partner immediately. But I saw that he was actually better than me in a lot of things. And a lot of people might take offense to that, you know, internally. One of the main things that's really excelled me is getting people that are smarter than me, getting people that know things a lot deeper than me, and letting them shine, letting them excel. Because 2 things happen there. Number one, people, when they feel appreciated, they're gonna stay. And that's the thing. You can get good people, okay? You're smart enough to find good people. I see your team. You have great people around you. But another thing is keeping those people.
Yes, sir.
And my value financially in life is strictly correlated to my ability to retain good people.
Yeah. I think your ability to put someone in the position to win is going to determine how long they stay with you and if they're actually loyal to you. Also, too, whenever you're hiring a business partner or having a joint thing, you have to look at it not in a selfish way, but would you rather have a whole grape or a slice of a watermelon? The watermelon's clearly bigger, but are you willing to give out those slices? That way you guys have one bigger company. A lot of people think they can be a master of jack of all trades, but then they end up becoming a master of none. So
there you go.
If I'm good at making content, I'm not going to be good at editing videos. There's someone else that can do that. It's just you have to be okay with sharing the winnings that you have and just being able to have a good team around you and just not be selfish. I think a lot of aspects in life, people are just too selfish. And I think just overall in the world, if we just collab more and just do things together more, we can get a lot more things accomplished.
Absolutely.
And I think the biggest companies in the world right now, they all grew because they had a good team around them at the end of the day.
For sure. Guys, if you're just tuning in right now, this is episode 1 of the Jibrael Hindi show. Episode 1 is about how I did it. But we have Adam here, who is a young entrepreneur, 24 years old, and he's really out there. Forget about how I did it. He's actually out there doing it. And the reason I had him on here, for those just tuning in, is because I quickly recognized that when I met him about a month ago. And look at that, we're sitting here today. We've already done business on a couple levels already, and very good business, by the way, Adam. Guys, his Instagram handle is @AmericanIncome. Check him out. He did a video for me. And well, just to recap real quick, if you're just tuning in, we've gone over 3 things so far that I think have been crucial in my success. Number 1 is having gratitude, okay? Number 2 is always being conscious of urgency. Have urgency, work with speed. And then number 3, people. People are very important to us on many different levels. And not only do we want to have access and the ability to acquire good people around us, you also want to be able to keep them. And that has to do with treating them good. What I say is, and this is how I operate. And some of my team is over here. I make sure my team eats before me, and I'm making sure that as the type of food that I'm eating increases, that their plate is also increasing.
Yeah.
With regards to back to Adam, yeah. So I met Adam about a month ago. We're going back and forth on DMs. I don't know who reached out to who. But eventually, I looked at his page and I saw he's doing a lot of these interviews. And there was a couple lawyers out there. And, you know, me being me, I said, you know what? I think that there's a little 50-second story that I could give out there. Maybe it'll do good for my business. And I saw, you know, his followers, the traction that it has, the engagement, him showing up on my feed. We do the video, and we're almost at 500,000 followers. And by the way, guys, anybody watching out there that's contemplating working with Adam, I've probably gotten about 30 to 40 cases already. And this has only been, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. So check out Adam at American Income. Are you getting a lot of success stories from, I mean, obviously you have people there that aren't in the biz or in the law industry that they're going to be able to take advantage of that. It's more about them just being on camera for no reason.
Yeah.
But obviously you have people like me that make a strategic decision to work with you.
Yeah, I think anytime someone gets on any type of interview or platform, it's an opportunity to not only share your story, share some advice, but also tell everyone about the business that you do. I'm sure people that saw your video didn't know that they can make money just because they get a certain type of text message, a spam message. Because for anyone that doesn't know, what type of lawyer are you and what type of cases do you solve?
So I'm a consumer protection lawyer, and I specialize in class action cases. But here's the cool part. If you have text messages on your phone from a company trying to sell you something, which we all do, I can get you between $500 to $1,500 per text message. One final little plug, if you don't mind, Adam. I've recovered nearly $500 million under this particular law.
So as someone who is a lawyer, after we did our video, what did you think about it? How was it for you? And how many cases did you get?
So right out the gate, first of all, I've never gotten so many followers from one single video. It was kind of crazy. I was actually in Vegas. I was at an aviation conference. And I'm with my aviation team, and I'm like, yo, guys, take a... And I'm looking at notifications, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what the heck? Is this fake? No, it's real people, actually. So, I have right now 20,000 followers. It's taken me 4 years to get there, but the last 2,000 took me a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, have I gotten cases from that? Cole, we've gotten probably, 30 cases from... Cole's behind the scenes. He leads my intake department. And Cole was, because we were able to track leads. He's like, how are we getting so many organic Oh yeah, we did the thing with American Income. That's where it's coming from. Super effective.
Yeah. And
super effective.
Aside from just that, from you getting on a video on the mic and more in business being obviously sent to you, the good thing about having someone like you on my page is if there's a kid that's in law school that wants to become a lawyer, they say, oh shoot, he's making good money doing this.
Sure.
I wanna see what he's doing right. So a lot of my videos been able to inspire a lot of people that watch, change their careers, change their professions, but also give them hope that there's someone out there doing what you want to do at a level that you want to do it at. You just have to stick to the plan and listen.
Yeah, and so just to touch on that, essentially, giving other people a different value added by watching that video. And in the case you explained, it's giving them motivation or giving them desire to pursue something. You know what's also interesting? 3 months ago, I started Jibrael Consulting, and we have a monthly, what I call Pump Mastermind. It's 15 people we get together. It's a paid mastermind, and it's a very intimate setting. That's every month. We sold out the last 2 months. October sold out, November sold out. It's coming up next week. But the other aspect of Jibrael Consulting is I actually mentor lawyers to be able to do the type of law I do. There's a lot of lawyers out there, doing personal injury, criminal, and they're like, wow, I have the same license that Jibrael has. Why am I not running a business as lucrative as Jibrael does? My point is this. From that American Income video, I got 2 lawyers that one is a personal injury attorney, one is a criminal lawyer, that actually hired me for this life-changing mentorship.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I mean, this is a $400,000, a little bit more, package, okay? So it's not only about how much success I've gotten from that, but it's also the fact that it's coming from a reputable source. If this was a gimmicky, fake, some guy that just started and is just trying to get some guy, but you've been doing this for how long right now?
3 years now.
3 years.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm not the first lawyer that you have on there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think you have good vision. I'm glad that you saw whatever you saw in me. But here's the thing, Adam. I know for a fact, and I'm not trying to just keep saying this about you, but brother, you are blessed, man. You have the talent, you have the vision, and you have the drive to get out there and do it.
Yeah.
And guys, here's the thing. Just like Adam, he explained, he grew up with he wasn't privileged by any means, right? He didn't grow up with money. What's the difference between somebody out there his age under the same circumstances, okay? And what he's explaining is perhaps a common circumstance. I would say at least 40% of the population can say, they come from a single-parent household and middle-income to lower-income demographics. That's where I come from, actually. My parents were separated as well. But what is the difference? How did he do it? How did we do it? Again, it has to do with that internal talking to yourself, taking those steps. And look, just like a lot of us, we spend our time playing video games. We may spend our time reading. We may spend our time doing bad things like gambling. Doesn't matter. It really is where you're putting your intention to. And over time, as you're seeing these little breakthroughs of success, literally by even just taking that first step, that momentum is going to be what keeps you in the game, in that game of improving yourself, improving your financial circumstances, improving your future. And I fight through that every single day, trust me. I wake up almost every morning, it's like, why am I still doing this? Do I have to? But then I think about, again, the gratitude. And I think about those individuals that just wish they could wake up in the morning. And I mean, that's a dream, and be able to contemplate that. And I also think about my team, okay? Because my team has goals. Cole, you have a lot of goals, right? I'm not done with you, brother. Have we reached some of those goals of yours? Yeah. You see, like, that's what makes me smile right now. You know, when I take on a new person on any of my companies, and I tell them, look, this is where I see you, and I'm gonna get you there. Are you happy with that idea? And when they reached that first milestone, when they thought they would never even be at that stage, oh my God, that's fucking worth $1 billion to me right there.
Yeah.
You know?
So now I want to hear more about you. So you're obviously a lawyer. Now tell us, okay, how did you start this law firm? Where'd you go to law school at? And like your accolades as a lawyer, how much money you've recovered, and why did you choose specifically this type of law?
Yeah. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. I know it's not the longest show. I didn't know I wanted to be a lawyer until I was around 19, 20 years old. I actually got arrested. I was facing like 20 years in jail, actually. It was for something that I didn't do. It was in a gas station, and it involved a gun. I was working behind the register, by the way. And a particular lawyer, his name is Eric Stupel, he's actually still practicing, he defended me, okay? And I remember when my parents walked into that law firm, and we had the consult, and he asked my parents for a $20,000 retainer. He might as well have asked them for $1 million. We didn't have that. He did end up helping us. We did end up proving my innocence. I got off. That day, when I walked out of the law firm, his law firm, and the day that he asked for $20,000, I told my parents, or my mom, I said, I want to be like that, just asking for 20 grand like the drop in the bucket. But remember what I was just telling you guys about, I decided to take that first step literally right there. And I told my mom, I said, I'm going to be a lawyer. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get out of here. We're trying to make sure you don't go to jail for 20 years. Like, what's wrong with you? But I made an internal commitment. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 19, make that internal commitment. Fast forward, I've always been entrepreneurial, obviously not to a high degree, but I've always had that in my blood. My father was like that. He sold jeans out of his van. I used to help him, you know, and that's how we made money. You know, we were always hustlers. But for me, that day in Eric Stupel's office, seeing how he just asked for 20 grand like nothing is what did it for me. I committed to it. I got my degree. I got my first 2-year degree at Broward Community College. I got a FAU degree, a bachelor's degree in finance, and then I go to law school at Nova Southeastern University. I end up graduating top 1% of my class. You know why? Because my first year of law school, I got a fucking DUI. And I had a bad record, obviously. I was arrested a couple times before that. So I said, the only way that they're gonna, did you know you can actually pass law school and they can still make you not become a lawyer? Because you have to go through the Florida bar. So I said, I know the Florida bar is gonna ask me a lot of questions in 3 years. I gotta graduate top of my class so that at least I can show them, hey, that was the past. This is who I am today. And that's exactly how it played out. I'm about 75% done with the story. I opened my own law firm right out of law school. I've always just been that type of person to want to work for myself. And I understood the concept of I don't want to go work at a big law firm, build up somebody else's brand. They're gonna slave me working 100 hours a week. Maybe they'll pay me 150, 200, but at the end of the day, I can put that same energy and effort into something for myself. That's how we got to my law firm. And today, you know, over time, we have probably close to a dozen lawyers, total staff about 30, and we've done a lot of good work. Almost $500 million recovered for our clients over the last 10 years.
Oh, so it's safe to say you do all right.
I do okay.
Yeah. Now, what's the most you've taken home in a year?
Most I've taken home.
Or paid yourself.
That's what's funny.
People need to hear this because it's transparency, right? Like
that's why.
You own your own law firm. I hope you pay all your staff. I'm sure you do. But also too, for someone that's a lawyer that's in law school, they want to see, hey, how much can I realistically make if I go balls to the wall and stick to this?
This is what I will tell you. Nova Southeastern University, I love you guys. Go Sharks. It's obviously not the best law school in the world. Probably in the ranking, they're probably, let's say out of 300, they're probably like 200, something like that. It doesn't matter where you go to law school. I get that question a lot of times. It's what you make of it. I have, again, the same law degree as any other lawyer. It's what I made out of it. What I do very well. I do very well. Okay, guys, go to American Income. You can watch my video on there. I actually disclose a number.
Okay, so give me an example of a case you solved and being able to recover for a client. Well, obviously, you don't have to say the client or
Sure.
what type of specific case it was.
I've gotten several $10 million plus settlements.
And these settlements are solely just for people getting text messages?
These are class action cases. Yeah, so good question. So let's say Target or Walmart, they sent a text message to my client. And it was a text message either they never agreed to receive, or let's say they got it between the hours of 9 p.m. to 8 a.m., which is illegal. Okay. Guess what? If they sent it to Cole, that means they sent it to a million people. Yeah. So Cole's entitled to $500 for that text. But if they send it to a million people, now that case is worth $500 million. That's a class action. So yeah, I've settled some big cases like that.
Now, why do companies send these texts without the customer permission? Why is this a thing?
Good question. Profits. That's what drives the world, profits, right? So companies, unfortunately, and this is a fact, they know that they are breaking the law when they're sending these text messages when you did not agree to receive them, or if they're violating the law in any other way. But guess what? How many people out there are going to know that that text message is worth money? Not many, maybe 0.01%. But they are willing to take that risk, and they actually calculate into their annual budgets and legal fees that they're going to get sued for this. But it's still so profitable to send text blasts out that they disregard that. And they say, you know what? This is the cost of doing business.
Now, when a case gets presented to your table, what are some of the things that you look at? Like, if I get a text message from a company and I reply stop and they still send messages, can I now sue them?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, even if you say, please leave me alone, please cease, please quit, don't fucking text me, you can say any of those things. You don't just have to say stop. If they text you after that, it's between $500 to $1,500 per text message. Sometimes we have people, literally, Cole, what's the most you've seen somebody come in with just on one violation? No, I'm talking about a stop message, and then after that, how many texts? Yeah. So we have cases right now where somebody said, leave me alone, and then they still get text 100 times after that, times $500. You do the math. Yeah.
Wow. And that's real.
That's real. I've made a living off of that, and I still continue to do that.
Wow. Now, as someone who's a successful lawyer, what is the biggest mistake you see other lawyers make when they're starting out? Like whether it could be their habits, the way they do business, the way they do things. What holds lawyer back from getting that success and getting these big cases?
I'm going to tell you that right now. First of all, your question implies that they are in charge of their earning capacity. The truth is that they're not. Why? Because they're working for a company. Here's the thing, though. I'm not saying going out and opening your own law firm is for everybody. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody in any field, right? But let's talk about those people that actually do have the capabilities and the qualities to open their own thing. The biggest holdback is them not doing it. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to mention no names. There is a guy that graduated top of the law school with me, and he's 10 years into working at a big law firm. He's almost made partner. That's how they lure you in. Oh, in 10 years you'll make partner and all this stuff. He's almost made partner. He's miserable, and he actually wants to come and work with me because he sees the success. Yeah. And I told him, brother, you're making how much? Okay, $300,000. Bro, you can make $3 million with that kind of work ethic.
Now, there's people that would rather have a stable salary instead of trying to start their own law firm or practice, and that's okay. But what do you have to say to someone that is in that position that they have a really good salary, but they're scared just to leave and start over? But the salary is good. They have a wife. They have kids. What would you say to them?
First of all, again, you're 24 years old, and you actually understand what the fact that you just asked that question, again, restates what I said. You're a smart guy. That's very.
And I asked that because everything sounds good, so you actually have to do it. It sounds good to start your own law firm and start on practice and make millions of dollars, so you actually do it, and it fails the first few years, and now the stable salary is gone. So
I'll be honest with you. Here's another deep concept I want to tell you about. A lot of people misinterpret the probability of winning. In my opinion, if you have a decent head on your shoulders, decent level of ambition, decent level of responsibility, I think any lawyer could make 10 times more than what they're making working for somebody else, okay? To answer your question, what is the holdup? It's again, what I believe to be a interpretation of what the risk really is. And I think that 9 out of 10 lawyers out there that think, oh, I have a stable income right now, and I don't want to jeopardize me not making money. Very simple. Try this. Save up money that will allow you to live for 6 months. Get out of that place you're at. Open your own thing, and I promise you, within 3 months, you're gonna make at least how much you're making in salary or more. And if you're not, you still have savings for 3 months, go back to that job. Trust me, they'll take you back. If you're ambitious enough and strong enough in your mind to actually take that leap, that means you're a valuable person. That company will take you back.
Now, tell us about, you obviously make money, but what do you do with your money nowadays? Like, how do you invest your money? How do you make sure you stay wealthy?
Yeah.
What are some of the different avenues that you spread your wealth so that way people can watch and can learn a thing or two?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm very diversified in investments. I don't have any cash. I'm poor in cash. I love to invest. I have a big chunk of my portfolio in stocks, huge chunk in real estate. I'm big on real estate. I'm very bullish in South Florida market. Guys, if you have the opportunity to invest in real estate in South Florida, take that opportunity. I started 10 years ago, the first property I bought was $20,000. You can start small, okay? Alternate assets, sports memorabilia, fine art. What else do I invest in? Obviously, crypto. You have to have a little bit of crypto in there.
Yeah.
I would say probably 5% of my holdings is crypto. Are you into crypto at all or no?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Solana.
Okay.
And
Cool.
Bitcoin as well.
Solana and Bitcoin?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I invest in is other businesses, okay? So I own I own an aviation company that I opened up with my partners about 8 months ago. I own a furniture company. What else do I own? A Kava Lounge.
Yeah.
It's cool because a lot of the real estate that I buy, I actually also put businesses in them, and I have partners running those businesses.
Now, being a lawyer is your biggest business.
Correct.
Why have your hands in so many different buckets when you know you're not going to be able to give your full efforts to the business that you have now?
Because we have people, and we have good people, and we're able to keep those good people. So if you know how to do that, you can do a lot of things. But I really know for a fact that I am really at the plateau of what I can handle on my plate to the level that they can still grow. Because you're right. When you're too diverse, like you said, when you're the jack, what was the same about jack of all trades?
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Same thing. When you have so many different, businesses, and everybody has a different tolerance. I have a high tolerance because I have a lot of good people with me.
Yeah.
It becomes a diminishing value type of thing where the more you put on, the less you're going to make actually because they're going to go to shit.
Yeah. Now, how do you save on taxes? What do you pay on? I'm just curious.
This guy came in today.
And this is live, so.
Here's a cool one. Great question. This was not a rehearsed question, but great question. Very good intuition, Adam. So literally last year, Q4 of last year, I said, holy shit, I'm going to have the biggest tax bill of my life. What the heck can I do? So I started talking to my CPA, and we figured out that if I bought a jet, I could bonus depreciate that 60%, meaning if it was a $10 million jet, I could literally depreciate $6 million and have that as a write-off. Yeah. Long story short, I knew one person with a jet. His name is Gianni. What's up, Gianni? He's my partner now. But before we got there, I knew him from the gym. We always just dab it up. What's up? I came up to him one day. I said, listen, Gianni, I know you're a businessman. I know you have a jet. I know, who the fuck am I to come and ask you about your shit? Because I get that. But I really want to ask you something. Can you help me in understanding which jet can I get? Because I want to take advantage of this tax opportunity. Yeah. He introduces me to Mozzie. We go look at a jet. I quickly realized, we looked at a G4. I quickly realized that, yeah, I'll be able to do this tax play. This is how we save money in taxes. But I'm probably going to lose money because I don't know shit about maintaining this thing. And just like car mechanics, I'm not saying they're going to, but you have to know what you're doing, right? Or else you're going to get screwed. Long story short, we decided not to purchase that jet. We held off and we got in business together. So I did ultimately get my jet. I got a Falcon 900. But guess what? Now we have 4 of them, and we have a charter business and a aviation plane leasing business as well.
Now, Falcon 900, how much was that jet, for example, and how much does it cost to maintain?
So that particular Falcon that we bought was almost $10 million. Cost of maintenance, honestly, every year it's different. I mean, we just underwent what's called a C inspection. I mean, but you only have to do that every 6 years for this one. That one cost $1.2 million. But here's the cool thing. We now have our own mechanics in-house also. And we just also we're in the process right now of opening a mechanical facility to service Falcons around the world. And that's the thing, guys. A lot of times when you're in business, and this has happened to you too probably, and you're in the zone, you're in that mindset, what turns out to be problems sometimes turn out to be opportunities also. Has that happened to you before?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now, what was I gonna say? So, how do you make sure that this jet is being used for business purposes? Are you taking this jet to go on meetings, to meet with new clients? How do you ensure that as well?
You know what? I'm not a CPA, but I can answer that question because that was a very important question. You have to make sure you always are documenting and being able to justify that if you are going to write a trip off as a business expense, that it was a legitimate business expense. Here's the thing, guys. Okay, very important. Rule number 1, don't F with Uncle Sam. Do you know what new rule number 2 is? Don't F with Uncle Sam. If you take advantage, if you actually follow those 2 rules in this country, you're good.
Now, I saw you made a video that you took a jet somewhere, but you flew economy back. You want to brief on why you did that?
Yes. So that was actually, that was Vegas. When I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago for my aviation conference. As a matter of fact, we flew another Falcon 900 that we had there because we wanted to try to sell it at the show, which by the way, we're actually probably going to close on that sale. And I made a video because I was taking JetBlue back home. And, you know, people that follow me for years, they know me about this. Like, I don't try to stunt I actually like to show the real life behind all this shit. And yeah, it would have probably cost, I would have probably lost 20 grand flying the plane back to Florida. But instead, what did I do? I got that plane. I actually booked a charter for somebody else. And I made 20 grand's profit by them chartering it to, I think it was New York. Okay, so instead of being able to do another selfie on the way back, hey guys, I'm on a jet, blah 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 blah. Fuck that, you know. I'd rather take the money than that. And I showed the people that like this is real. If you're a real businessman, this is really how you're doing it. Yeah, you know.
Now, talk about commercial real estate. So, what type of properties are you currently buying, and why those specific properties? Like, can you give me good examples in depth and like the cash on cash return you're getting?
Absolutely. So, real estate, especially here in South Florida, I've been bullish on for like last 10 years. And I've been acquiring, there's some blocks in Fort Lauderdale that I have all the properties there. What should I say about real estate?
Like why
I'm good at it.
Real estate?
Why commercial real estate? Yeah. Okay, so in commercial real estate, we have different types of commercial real estate, right? So we have residential commercial, right? That's like multi-families. And then we have like plazas, or we even have industrial properties. I have industrial, like I have a few mechanic shops, I own the properties, but I tend to like to focus on freestanding buildings and plazas. Why? Okay. As opposed to residential. Why? I like to deal with business owners and business operators.
Absolutely.
When you're making these leases, okay, that's the value of the property is what's on that lease, okay? Remember, all real estate it's a machine that's supposed to give you money. The more money it gives you, the more the valuation in a simple way. So when it comes to commercial leases, there's a lot more flexibility in your ability to be creative. And I'm a lawyer, okay? So I'm very good at being creative, okay? Which ultimately, look, I'm not saying we're tricky, but you know, it becomes a way that we can both my leasee, I'm the lessor and the leasee are being able to position themselves to be a lot better off than they would have been have I not had that experience. Anyway, back to the question. I just like the flexibility and the creativity in commercial real estate as opposed to residential side. I do have residential properties. I mean, I have like 30 doors residential. Some of those are actually Airbnbs also. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now I know we're getting a little tight on time, so I want to end it off start to end it off here. If there was someone that was going to become a lawyer in 2025 or about to go to law school right now, knowing everything you know now, what do you want to tell them right now?
I would tell them that if they do not have the tools or the desire to out of law school or very close to out of law school want to own their own practice, they should urgently, with speed, acquire that desire and that skill base. It's going to be a totally different life. We're talking about your life right now, okay? It's going to be a totally different life if you cap yourself out at 200K versus potentially making, and it's very doable, $2 to $5 million a year.
Yeah. Now, what if they don't want to start a practice? What if they just say, I want the easy way out? I want to just work for somebody and make big dollars.
Okay, first of all, if you're going to go work for somebody in the legal industry, that is the hardest way out because they squeeze you, boy. They squeeze you. So if you really genuinely want the easier way out for yourself, do yourself a favor. Do what I said. Try to get your own law firm.
All right, and then Shu, I'll let you leave with any last tips and things you may have learned throughout your career. How old are you, by the way?
37.
Now, if you go back to your 20-year-old self, what's something you want to tell your younger self, aside from just business, from things that you've seen and lessons you learned?
Good. How much time are we in right now, just to make sure? I don't want to hold people up here.
No, we're good. We're 7:53. We're good.
Okay, we got a few minutes. What would I tell my 20-year-old self? On the fly, what I can say is perhaps to tell myself, Jibrael, everything, God's plan is not your plan. In other words, a few years ago, I fell into depression and I was burnt out. And it was because of that speed and urgency, but I was going way too fast. And I had to slow down. Again, sometimes things happen to you in life and you're like, why is it happening this way? It shouldn't happen to me. Why me? And I've gotten out of those things. I'm sure you've experienced that in your life.
Yes,
if you
sir.
haven't, you will. Everybody will. But just in short, understanding that God has a plan for you and it's not the way you think it is, period.
Okay, well, shoot. I mean, my final message to everyone is just know that your current situation isn't your final destination. Please make sure you pray every day. You ask God for what you want. You make sure you write down your goals, write down your vision,
Yes.
make it plain. That way, when you can read it, it'll actually come to fruition. You might
Yes.
want something, but if it never gets written out and you don't see it, then it's just not going to happen. Also, too, I think everyone needs to for sure focus on the lifestyle, the daily habits. Please don't smoke any weed, do any alcohol, do drugs. Wake up early, go to the gym. And
Let's talk
just
about that real
stick-
quick, Jim, because we went to the gym together. We have
Yes, sir.
time. This is important, very important. This could be life-changing for some people.
Yep.
Me and Adam and Tim, we hit the gym, I don't know, a week ago.
Yeah.
Okay. We got in at 6 a.m.
Yep.
We killed it. We got good content. That is really how my life is every day. I mean, I don't go in at 6 a.m. like you guys.
Yeah.
Tell the world, because I already know the answer, because I
Yeah.
live this. Tell the world how better your days are when you actually go.
Oh,
to
it's
the gym.
amazing. I think if you just get to wake up early and see that, I have more time today to be great. God has woken me up today, so be grateful and hit the gym early.
I love it.
And you
man.
don't even have to work out crazy. Just go
don't.
for a walk if
don't.
you want. If you're not a gym person, just go for a walk. Be active, move the body, and just get in a habit of going to sleep early and waking up early, and your life will just be much better. Even if you're not in a financial destination you want to be, you have more time to think of new ideas.
Here's the thing, like you said, you have to go crazy. You're right. Honestly, though, I go crazy. Everything that I do, I got to be the best at.
Yep.
I'm an IFBB pro in men's physique. I got my pro card back in 2022. I've been competing since 2018. Here's the thing, though, and I talk about this a lot. It's all about, being successful is also, it's not just here successful. It's really a journey, right?
Yep.
And you need self-motivation, heavy amounts of self-motivation. Getting that gym session in the morning gives you that early feeling of accomplishment.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Right? You're not sluggish. You feel like you already booked that win in.
Yes, sir.
The day should be, at least with me, with my goal. And by the way, he touched on writing things. That's very important. I'll touch on that. Getting those little wins every single day. Yeah. Wins. They add up. You know what? Let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of that your probability of actually accomplishing something when you write it down is substantially higher when you write it, or accomplishing a goal?
Because it's written. If you want a certain car,
It faces you in the face. Yeah.
You want a certain car, write down the name and the model of the car, the color you want it to be, what spec you want. Write down everything. You want a certain house, write down the neighborhood you want the house in, where the house is at. If it's on Zillow, write down the address.
And that's because of accountability. Okay, guys out there, think about last week. If you set a goal for yourself, what was that goal? You don't remember. When you write it down and you put it in a place that you're forced to look at it, you're holding yourself accountable, your chances of actually being consistent on that goal raises substantially. That's another little tip.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So that's my final thoughts. Anything you else want to share before we go here?
Yeah, guys, everybody out there, a lot of you guys that are watching right now have been following me for years. Again, as I always say, anything I can help you with, I'm here for you. That's what makes me happy in life. And again, of course, thank you so much for giving me the most valuable thing you give me, your time. Take care, guys.